Hey Jess, so today was my fourth day of Zumba in a row, and it was exhausting. I subbed for somebody on Monday, and so that's 4 days of Zumba in a row. Definitely not used to that. Quite a workout. Now I'm free until Sunday for Zumba workout. Today at work I went to a discussion workshop about single story and the issue with that. It was pretty interesting, and it made me think about some single stories I had in my life. There are many single stories that the person in the TED Talk experienced. I'll have the TED Talk linked in the description below. She had single stories about books and novels only contained foreigners. She had a single story about herself. People had a certain thought of what someone from Africa has experienced or is like. A single story that came to my mind for myself was I thought all Romanians knew about deafness and knew about sign language, and that grandma could communicate with anybody if they were Romanian, and that her being deaf wasn't a barrier. And then grandma got a customer for the dental technician work, and she was Romanian, but they could not communicate very well. And that was confusing to me. And that was because I was experiencing a single story over and over. Every single Romanian was either friends of grandma or family members, or basically anybody who knows how to communicate with grandma, and grandma knows how to communicate with them. And even when I went to Romania and we went to see Unchi Titi, and communication was fine with between grandma and Unchi Titi. They just talked and talked and everything was fine. And even though I had met the woman, grandma's customer, before I went to Romania, it was just interesting seeing this single story come up over and over, and really makes me realize most of the Romanians that I interact with are people who know about deafness and are able to communicate with grandma with ease. And it's hard to realize that that's not the case. But I think one way to do that is just to meet more and more Romanians who probably don't know sign language or don't even know people who are deaf. So I'm wondering if you have any single story experiences that you've realized. I'm sure I have others, but I think that's the first one that came to my mind because I remember having that revelation when meeting that woman, and just that revelation didn't come easy. It was very confusing for a little while, and I thought, how is this even possible? Anyway, the TED Talk is really good and interesting. I recommend it. There's lots of TED Talks to recommend. They're all pretty good, or at least a lot of them are. And by the way, let me know how this camera angle turns out. I'm trying it out. It looks pretty cool. Also, when I have something over my face, you could barely even tell I'm talking based on my facial expression of here, even though you can see my beard moving down here. Maybe you can. It's just very interesting. Exaggerated. You can see it, but not really. Well, I will see you on Thursday, Jess. Bye-bye.